Anyway, yeah, so what I wanted to talk about today was there was this rally, a political rally, hosted by a guy named Kevin.
Better.
Yeah, very much better. Thank
Okay.
you. By a guy named Kevin Swanson, who's a very fundamentalist Christian pastor. And this rally was attended by 3 people running for president, who are also very fundamentalist Christian. And in this, this pastor, Kevin Swanson, said that, you know, the Bible calls for the death penalty for gay people, but he doesn't think our government should actually be lining up gays and executing them yet.
Oh, how progressive of it.
Yeah, because apparently we need time to repent. So the other thing I thought was interesting was that he was talking about if his son was gay and decided to get married, that he would basically roll in cow manure and then show up at the wedding basically with the whole sackcloth and ashes thing and you know, wailing and stuff, because it would be a time of mourning, not of celebration.
Man, that guy sounds like a blast. They could call it the Brown Wedding.
Yeah. So, yeah, I thought, well, it's a good thing I didn't invite him to my wedding. So. Anyway, so, yeah, and then later when questioned on this, Mike Huckabee, one of the attendees at this rally, denied knowing anything about this guy's views on executing gays, which is kind of astonishing that these guys just show up at these political rallies hosted by these religious leaders and they know nothing about them. Anyway, interesting chain of events there.
Is that it for that?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, you know, there are people who think that, you know, we should implement some sort of biblical law and execute gays.
Okay.
But not yet.
We have some current events to bring up briefly.
Oh, yeah.
Authorities in France and Belgium took people into custody Saturday in the aftermath of the worst violence in France since World War II, a series of terror attacks that killed more than 120 people. ISIS claims responsibility for the horrific Paris attacks for which France vowed revenge. President Francois Hollande deemed the shootings and bombings an act of war. He said early Saturday, "We will lead the fight and we will be ruthless." Belgian authorities made a number of arrests in the first publicized apprehensions after Friday night's bloodshed, a Belgian Justice Ministry spokeswoman said Saturday. In Belgium, raids were conducted in the Brussels suburb of Molenbeek-Saint-Jean. Justice Ministry spokeswoman Sigilde Lacour said. A car rented in Brussels was found near one of the sites of the Paris attacks, and that's what's triggered the raids, Lacour said. Anyway,
Yeah.
there has been a terrible terrorist attack in Paris. ISIS has taken credit for it. And there are... Well, do you want to talk first or what?
Well, yeah, and I think it's important to note that as horrific as the attacks were in Paris, there was actually one the day before in Beirut, and ISIS did that one too. They basically sent some suicide bombers in, and they were attacking a Shiite mosque. Mm-hmm. So people, I think, tend to think of ISIS is kind of loosely connected to Islam, but they actually follow a very specific and very conservative form of Islam. And they think all of the other Muslims are apostates and
Apostates.
apostate. I'm sorry. Yes, good. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. Thank you for the correction here, because no doubt other people would have corrected me, and they should have. That was anyway. Inside joke in my household. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, they were going after the Shiite mosque because, in particular, they think that the Shiites are, you know, basically infidels. Mm-hmm. So they're going to go after those guys. But there's like any number of other flavors of Islam that the ISIS guys think, you know, they should just go ahead and kill. And they do.
Right. Religion has a lot of terrible consequences. It encourages a whole lot of tribalism, and I think that whenever something like this happens, people want the atheist experience to denounce Islam in particular. And let me be the first to say it: Islam sucks.
Yes.
There is no good reason to believe that stuff, and there are many sects that cause violence based on their ridiculous and unjustified religious beliefs. At the same time, I think most of us have always held that a lot of people follow their various religions naively and with good intentions, and that it's not a good idea to make blanket assumptions about the 2 billion or so people, 1.5 billion, something like that, people on the planet. A small percentage of them would actually commit murder in the name of Islam, and that's horrible. And religion in general is bad enough that it is the cause that atheism itself is the cause that I have chosen to identify with above a lot of other causes that are important in my life. So, let's feel free to speak out against the stupid excesses of religion, and let's also be aware that religions are made up of people who, by and large, are also horrified by these terrible acts.
Yes.
Anything else? Oh, and I should say, cue up Simon in Round Rock.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to callers here.
Okay, but it'll take a minute, so.
Yeah. No, I think, that there's a tendency, I think, for people to latch on to their most hated form of religion for the week or for the, whatever. I don't think any of them are any good. And I don't think we should vilify one over another necessarily.